Hello, welcome to my stream. It's the late night talks with romantic developer, and today we start in right on time. Not right in time, just on the first moving our stream. So not at 11, but at uh, okay, yeah, at least I can hear myself, so it's fine. So yeah, not on time, but I need to move slightly time to have time to return home and time home so we can continue. So welcome, today's stream number 166. So it's already 165 streams we've done, and today is December 27th, and it would be soon 28, then 29, 30, 31st. So we have only 4 days left in this year, and very complex year, and next year would be even more complex. So yeah, welcome. Nice to have you all here. If you want to talk about something, I would really appreciate if you can leave a comment in my section under the video, under the stream. So you can leave a comment under one of the previous stream, better the most recent, and ask your question, provide your ideas, and we will start with them. Because historically, our streams has two parts. First part when we discussing news events, some out of mind or in mind thoughts, some impressions, some inspirations, some reflections. So everything we could have in our some thoughts, etc., etc. News, discuss news. It's what we're doing most recently. But I would like to talk about what is important for you, what news you want to discuss. So please leave me a comment. Unless you can leave me a comments, unless you can provide me some input, we ask our AI friends to provide us some starter topics. So, and if we go to our stream, to not our stream, to our to our test notebook, where we could execute some of the news, some of the requests. We have a request which we wrote before, and it's, where is it? Yeah, in discussion starters. We created a class which gather information about our last streams. For the last stream, for the very recent stream, it took the whole stream content. For other, it creates some summaries, and also it reads, it's search for some top news, like top general news and top news in AI topic, and it combine all everything to some context, and based on that context and our prompt, it's ask us few questions. So let's see what it will ask us today. Oh, no valid credentials. Please visit. Oh, I need to. And I need to go to romantic developer. Yeah, you don't see that. Access blocked. Really? To make it work, I need do something like that. And then I need come here and interrupt. Hey, can we interrupt it? Interrupting kernel. Okay. Okay, let's restart. Let's execute what we have before that. Oh, we have Olama. Hello, Olama. Oh, it was bad decision. Do we have any option to make it as disabled? Change paste. Change cell to markdown probably. Okay, we started Olama Model Llama 3.2. Of course, it took some memory, but it's fine. So we come to that moment, and now we try to execute it once again. Now it will open. No, yeah, it will open in that browser, and we can continue here because we have our romantic developer chat included into the list of tester of that application. We could continue, and now we should successfully re-authenticate. It should be preserved, and we fetch in all the latest streams. And yeah, we have everything we need. We just need to put it here, and we can see it here. Okay, questions. TikTok Tussle. I don't know anything about TikTok. Maybe, yeah. I mean, I know something about TikTok, but not any recent news. Is Donald Trump urging the US Supreme Court to delay the TikTok ban? What do you think has the long-term implication for international tech companies operating in the US? How might this shape future regulation of foreign apps? Beginning of the stream and so complex question immediately. You know, you know. Of course, I want to say something about free speech and something about how to allow all the countries and all the application on the market, because it should be like the same rights for all the applications, for all the developers. But we live not in this world. You know, we live in the world of censorship. And if you think there is no censorship, you are wrong. You are wrong on every platform, including X, including Telegram, and any other. There are more or less. There are more ugly way of censorship, or like nicer way of censorship. So TikTok, maybe it would exist in the United States, but what is more possible that United States just say, okay, China don't want to go to some negotiations with us about TikTok. It doesn't want to close accounts which, let's say, extreme or whatever, and spread some false information, kind of false information, you know. So and they could just copy TikTok, you know, functionality of TikTok is very similar to what we have in other applications. Of course, it's not exactly the same like as Instagram, Shorts, or Reels, or X. Yeah, X doesn't have Reels. YouTube has Shorts or something. So it's kind of possible to reproduce, and maybe there are things like TikTok Shop, etc., etc. Yeah, some personnels could lose their businesses, but they could recreate it in YouTube. And if they do it properly, it would happen like in Russia. You know, Russia banned YouTube. It's very understandable questions why they did that, because they don't have any control over YouTube. YouTube can spread whatever information they want in Russia. They could block any channels, including all the government channels at all. I mean, they blocked all government channels in Russia, and people watched YouTube all these years in Russia. And of course, YouTube show in trends, not not the videos Russia government wants. So what they did, they start blocking it, blocking, starting from this summer. And right now it's still working through VPN. They blocking VPN as well, but it's still working for people more or less technical, or which have technical friends. But it's maybe less than 5% of people who watched YouTube. Instead, they said, okay, we have other platforms, Russian built platforms, and they add your possibility to copy, to transfer all your videos from YouTube to those platforms. More, they start to transfer all those videos without owners knowing that. Of course, it's could be about authors' rights, etc., etc. But it's again, we are talking about Russia. So as a result, they moved a lot of things, which makes sense, from YouTube to their platforms like Contact video or like Yandex video. I don't remember exactly what they called. They provide the similar technologies. They even try to, yeah, because YouTube blocked all the content creator, all the income from Russia. Russia did similar things on their platform. So as a result, right now YouTube mostly fully blocked in Russia, and no one complains. If United States will do with TikTok the similar things, so it will not officially kind of block it uh, by court, but they said, okay, they don't want to negotiate with us. We created so many court decisions against China, but they don't pay us. So we don't know what happened, but the speed of TikTok is decreasing. But hey, you could go to that platform, that. Yeah, it's what could happen. But of course, right now it's not. I mean, it's better not to close it right now because Trump need to reopen Chinese platform. It could play a bad joke later with Trump. So it's better not to close it right now, but close it slowly like Russia. So okay, I responded. Homelessness search. Homelessness. Recent report indicates that the United States homelessness has surged to a record high of 18% amid affordable housing shortages. What strategies can communities and government implement to address the growing crisis, and how can technology play a role in providing solution? Right now, they could increase that number. No, it's a very complex question again. Why is that homelessness? Let's, you know, let's make sure that I'm understanding that right. I understand that homelessness, it's something when people doesn't have home. Oh, really? Come on. No, no, no. I mean, I could log in somehow to the Washington Post. I have that subscription, not associated with my account. Maybe. Okay. Washington Post. Let's inspect that thing. So is it this one? What if you just remove it? What if you just remove it? And this? Oh, we couldn't scroll. Ah, of course. How to say that it's, I don't know, like hate equals. article. So in that article we have image and how to enable scroll article div. Okay, we just so it's not that article, of course, but let's read at least what it says. 18% from January to January, climbing the highest level on record. The assessment provides a snapshot of the number of people living in shelters, temporary house, and Okay, not much information, but at least what we could say that first thing first, why the homelessness appear. So I understand that housing cost is pretty high, but they have some affordable communities, etc., etc. But people choose not to live in communities. People choose not to go to the work. And if even if you go to the cheapest work, full day, you could afford yourself some, I don't know, room or something. In most cases, again, if you're not disabled, etc., etc. So let's imagine you're just usual person, you don't have any high skill, but you always can find a job. Again, not maybe always, but in major cities, in major regions, for example, while I'm yeah, working everywhere, I see that the people are hiring, the workers are required, at least in, let's say, Washington State, Seattle, greater Seattle area where I live. Looks like it's not so complex to find a job even for a person who not so technically skilled. It's possible. Um, and but people choose not because, and then we need to find all the reasons why. Because why people choose not to live like it's it was imagined by some government, like going to the work, going from the work, having home, having families, having kids, but they just live as homeless people and not not going to the work and not living like kind of normal social life, choosing their own way of life. If it would be resolved, of course, then that question is homelessness would be resolved. But the first question is very complex because I see that from year to year, number of people who choose that way of living increasing, and it's connected with multiple things. People lose job, people lose businesses, cost of living increase, cost of products increase, everything increase. They have some debts, they couldn't pay those debts, etc., etc. Also psychological problems, etc., etc. And the more recent in recent years, all that stack of problems which creates that homelessness not decreasing, it increasing, and that's why we have more and more such people. So it should be resolved, and then we say, okay, how technology can provide solution for homelessness people? No, so technology can help if they want to change, but if they wouldn't, yeah, no one can help. and hasten real-time news integration. In our previous stream, we explored various what are some innovative methods we can employ to integrate multiple news sources seamlessly, ensuring real-time updates without overwhelming our system? Okay, we're not doing real-time, we do just quite new news. And we talk about, yeah, maybe if we will talk about something, we could integrate it as functions into our ChatGPT, so it could reach some news. AI power consumption concern. Did you catch the latest AI increase in power demands? Bloomberg highlights that AI needs so much power, it's making yours worse. With AI becoming more integrated into our daily life, what are some sustainable practices or technology we can adopt to mitigate its environmental impact? And hey, do you think we'll see AI-powered solar panels next? AI-powered solar panel? AI-powered? Come on, what do you mean AI-powered solar panels? Solar panels could be only solar powered. It's by definition, by name. AI could be in control. It could like move solar panels to has the best angle to consume the most solar power, yeah, solar energy, but AI power. I believe that solar panels, of course, would be used a lot to provide energy to AI systems. It's for sure. But what about AI powered? It's interesting. Okay, we I believe closed that loop, and what else we can do? What if we just start some new chat and ask? So let's see what we have. We have our news. Let's make it slightly smaller. Let's see what we have here. We have our news test. Okay, news extractor. Word News API. Let's look at Word News API very quickly. It would be the Word News API client. And let's look at that Word News API. And we say if we extract news or retrieve news by IDs. Retrieve newspaper front page. What is extract news? From a website to a well-structured JSON object, the API will return the title, text, publish date, authors, source, sentiment of the news articles. So let's imagine this. If we go somewhere in our test below, do we need that? Word news. No, let's remove it. So it's Google, it's Word News, okay. And now if we try to News API client, okay. API instance. Okay, API client. URL. Analyze. True. And for URL, let's go here into the questions. And for example, we have that Washington Post homeless. Yes. Let's copy and let's try to test it on this URL. Okay. Not the proper text copied. Let's try once again. Let's just copy like that. Okay, now it looks better. And let's just say and we just say, okay, try to analyze the response, extract news API response. But we can do something like that. Not print, but print. JSON dump API response ident for. And we need another line. Okay. Let's try to execute. What is true is not defined, of course, because we need to it with a big letter T. And is it really taking so much? Washington Post. Hello, Word News API. Word News API. Have you seen that news already? 27. Oh, it's a lot. Exception. Object of type extract is not JSON serializable. Okay. Okay. Let's just then print. And does it take another 30 seconds now? Yeah, looks like it's taking another 30 seconds. Maybe even. What do you mean? Maybe, we just input print and it would be news API extract news, and extract news is returning extract news 200 response. Model object, do you mean print? Okay. Really? How many more we need to, I want to search here. It says print. Okay, we did like that. API response and extract news response equals title URL image to dict. Oh, and I want just to do like that. Okay, we need to wait. Oh, we have to JSON. From JSON. Title empty, text empty, URL, language, image null, not possible to find. Let's check BBC News. Is it the same? Is it the same? Let's search for BBC News. Analyze true. Okay, with BBC, it has something. If you will look as scrollable, you see the text, title text, and multiple other things. So if, for example, we go here and just insert it as is, we see the text. So with the text, it means it's ready to insert it into the context of LLM, and it's fine. It looks like with news like Washington Post, it's not possible. What about Bloomberg? Let's read about what about Bloomberg. Let's try Bloomberg. And maybe it's the same problem with Bloomberg. I really thought that probably we could use that engine Word News API to extract some interesting news. You see, it's working for one news out of 3 links. So if it's taking so much time, like mostly a minute already, 50 seconds, and it's counting, and we don't have a result, I said, okay, cool. It was able to get that thing. So if we go here, we have some images and we have some text. Text, by the way, is not okay. Okay, so you see, it's working fine for Bloomberg, it's working fine for BBC, but it doesn't work for Washington Post. Let's give it another try with Washington Post. But I think Washington Post is so protective. They don't want to provide us something for free. They want us to subscribe, to pay money to read the news. It's in era of free internet. They want us to pay for the news. Okay, no, it's understandable if it's some articles or some cool material, but if it's news, you can read it elsewhere. I mean, you can read it on Google, etc., etc., at least some summary. And sometimes if you want to dive in, okay, it's still empty. It's still empty. So probably if we retrieve information like title and text empty, we could skip it. Okay, let's see combined files, and we have combined files prepared for LLM. Okay, we have all the files. News test. Let's go here. So let's do something like that. Okay. It's test. Let's go to news test here. Let's just replace it. Okay. News extractor. Okay. So let's prepare the files. For that, we just write something like Python. It's PowerShell. Let's execute it in command prompt. Okay, let's write Python and then prepare. It's written here. Let's copy and let's ask our ChatGPT slightly more advanced model about some help. Hi, I have a code. Can you please help me to update news extractor to use? And we just want to insert something with API to extract news details like text. If it's empty, the different source link. So AI will have more context. Thank you. Let's see if ChatGPT o1 could help us. I believe yes, because it's not too complex ask. And we provided context because it couldn't get, so it couldn't get any file except web or GPT or JPEG. So, but you see it's already. So below is replacement of news extractor. Let's see. Below is example of news extractor to use to retrieve full text of each new article. If the extract text is empty, the code will leave no text available, or you could choose to skip that article. Note, the example assumes you want to keep SERP-based search to find articles links. Yes. We assume you want to reuse the existing self-news API key to Word News if you have a separate key for in your env config. Okay. If the article link returns no text from Word News API, the code assigns no text available. So it's provided us a text and what changed. I want to clarify those points. I want to keep find articles. Attempt page link. I will use separate key for news. Can I close this? Yes, for now. I want to skip this article. Can you generate final code? Let's ask it just to do even less operations, you know. Okay. Make sure you define two separate API keys in your config serve API key and word news API key. Let me find if I have that env file. So let's see. Open and we go to projects, romantic developer, YouTube helper .env, local env or .env. I don't have .env, so I will have local env. So let me just do something like news text. Okay. So let's switch adjust variable name for okay. It's our quote news extractor. Now fetch news params. Parse news response. Try extract full text. Parse news response. You know, looks good. At least let's try to go to news extractor. So we have also word news API. Let's check that we have it in requirements. We have TikTok and that's it. Oh, we have search results. Okay. Pip install word news API. Requirements already satisfied. So it says it's version 2.0.0. So if you say pip install pip cd pip install requirements txt. Okay, now it should work. Okay, everything is satisfied. Requirements, what is force? So if I want force requirements, usage options, URL path, maybe force. Okay, maybe false. So yeah, looks like we have everything. Nux extractor, it's here. So what we need to do, we just host key self word API news config get word API news API key. So let's go to our config. Maybe here. And let's look at what we have. Let's just put it here. And we have serve API key. So we have like OS. That one would be, and it would be word API news key. And we just make it like that. And that we remove, and let's go here. And we have news API key. Okay, it will be served by API key. And word news, it would be that key. And we are fine. I believe we are fine. And we need something similar in load config from file. Okay, we don't need anything similar here. So word news API key, news API key. Let's go to news extractor. News extractor, init config, and in config news API key and word news API key. Okay, let's go to our test IPNB. Let's restart it. Maybe let's even make it smaller. Remove that thing, remove that thing, and yes, we don't need it anymore. That, let's convert it into markdown, and that is as well. Do we have like disable, enable? No. So let's convert it to markdown, and that would be removed. That we will read everything we need. Okay. That we will initialize client. That thing we used to check. Discussion starters, whisper config, generate questions, and in generate questions we should have all the things. Let's try to see. So that thing is fine. Yeah, we probably need much more information about generate questions into the news extractor. So we asked for some login, because you see it's now taking much more time. Oh, payment required. Okay, we got enough. So we easily get above 50 tokens, 50 daily tokens. And now we received and it's interesting. Let's see news extractor. It says fetch news, parse news response, get general news, parse news response. And parse news response, it parse article, valid article, and returns articles. And articles contains title, link, date, source, and text. Highlight. So, item highlight. Okay, so it's return article text or story article text or highlight text. And then in discussion starters, when we just build prompt, replace word news. And word news, we load context, get general news, and parse news response, return articles with text. So here, general news row and format date. So we spent all our tokens, but we haven't looked that we don't have any title text here. Nice. Okay, let's edit. Let's edit F, and we say text article get text. Okay, let's see what it replied to us. Okay, now it's have successfully extracted. Try to extract two item accepted, found, processed from SERP API results. I want for each highlight or story only first successful text, only one successful text for article, then skip others. Let's try to minimize our cost and we will test it tomorrow. I don't know, maybe we need to test even day after tomorrow, who knows. Below is an updated news extractor code. Okay, highlight, valid articles. Let's see. Okay, it's all the same. So it's Google search, that is parse. Okay, and then we try to see. Highlight. Try to extract. If highlighted text, highlight text, valid articles, highlight skipping stories, else stories. Break. Okay. But it means that it will break its parse, and then we just try to add something. Article. Okay. Get general 5 news. 5. So we should have about 10 requests. 10 requests to Word News API. 10 requests is not 50. We should be good, correct? Okay, let's copy code. Let's come here and insert it. Now it should work. But the thing is that we don't have any tokens left. So if we restart and we execute everything on top. Okay, and now if we execute here, we will receive a lot of errors. We said extracting news from article and payment required. And it would be the same issue everywhere. Extracting, attempting to extract, payment required. So we now come to the internal loop of payment required. So we process all 5 results, and everywhere is we couldn't do anything because a payment is required. And below we just try to, and we generated the news, but we already answered the news, so it would be very similar to what we had before. Really? So we said that looks like it doesn't receive any news. Okay, we need to test it later. We need to test it later just to see if this code could work theoretically. If this code could work theoretically. Okay, but yeah, maybe we need even more better engine for the news. Who knows? Okay, and let me look at what we have right now with the time frame. It's about an hour. Okay, so I think if it's already an hour, probably we could wrap up that stream and meet tomorrow. And tomorrow we will try to test what we have. And if it would be successful, we try to write a bot which will send all what we have into the chat and do some basic communication. So we will write YouTube bot. It would be our next task. Okay, I think that it from technical side. We talked about some issues and problems in the world, and we're moving towards the some interesting board. But I start to think that probably we need to divide our prompt, our AI helper, from the discussion starters. Maybe it would be part of bot, and bot should be different program. So AI helper should make all the streams, read all the streams, etc., etc. But AI bot should be a chat bot. But to ask question, it need context. Okay, we need to think. We need to think how to implement it. Maybe it could be the similar code base but different applications which would be started. Maybe it would have more sense. So yeah, maybe it would be a case. Okay, guys. I wish you, as usual, a good time of the day. I wish you to stay calm. I wish you to build coziness in your heart around yourself, to be full of wisdom, to be full of acceptance, and to be full of love. 3 full: wisdom, acceptance, and love. And yeah, don't fall under propaganda. Don't fall under some non-natural values. We have so many examples. We have nature to see. We have sky in many senses. We have oceans. And yeah, it's all part of nature, of course, even the sky and space. Yeah, and we have a lot of wisdom gathered in multiple books, which are freely available through internet. So let's gather part of this wisdom, and let's try not to fall too much under the modern bloggers like me. Okay, guys. I'm technical guy, so we do technical things. So I'm not like propaganda blogger. Okay, so you could meet me here, but please leave a comment, leave some comment under the stream so we could start with it, or review it, or just to say something like thank you or whatever. It would impress me. And yeah, I will be here starting 11 p.m. Pacific time every day, and will continue my journey into creating some nice and helpful programs for YouTube creators, or just for video creators, for content creators, not only YouTube. And see you here. And yeah, goodbye.